Welcome back, Dungeon Masters. In this video, we're going to go over map making. Now, this can be a very, very important part of every session, especially if you're playing online. Having a map made out makes it a lot easier for you to be able to position where everyone is, remember where everyone is in relation to other NPCs, monsters, what have you. So, in my opinion, it's one of the more important things to do, but it's definitely not a necessity by any stretch of the imagination. Now, we're going to be using Dungeon Scrawl because I love it personally. This is not an advertised video, could be, but it's not. But for $7 a month, you get Dungeon Scrawl, and you can make as many maps as you want and save them to your computer, your laptop, your phone, what have you, and use them later. Print them out for in-person sessions. It's just an all-around great app to create maps, and so that's what we're going to use. And we're going to be making a mansion, but we're only doing the first 2 floors. And we're doing this because I've got a need for a mansion in my upcoming campaign that's starting, well, tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to be live streaming this particular campaign because I got a bunch of new players that they're not sure if they're comfortable with the live stream. However, what they are comfortable with is me taking clips of the session and posting them. So be ready for that kind of content. It's coming up real soon. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. But for now, let's jump right on into that map making. All right. So here we have Dungeon Scrawl. And we're, like I said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a mansion. Let's start with the interior of the first floor. So you want to come down here, you want to make sure you've got rectangle tool highlighted because that's what's going to make it so that you can map it out. And you can pick any of these layers. Some of them don't really make sense for a building. Like this one I'd use for a cave. I'm going to go with this. We've got our layer picked out. Now we've got to make the shape of the building. And we want it to be nice and big. It is a mansion after all. And then 22 by 11. There we go. And then now we have some rooms. You want to try and make sure you've got this little wall right here because it's going to make it easier for you to place the doors later. And then why not? Let's have a ballroom. Be rather large. Boom. Perfect. Now we'll go to images. We need a staircase because it's going to have 2 floors. Go stairs. Search bar is always super helpful. I think I want to go with this, a spiral staircase. And I'm going to have it a little bit off center, but against that back wall. And that will lead us up to the second floor. Now, we've got 3 rooms. They each need doors. We also need a door to get into the mansion. So, let's go with this door for the entrance to the mansion right there. And then a slightly different door for the interior. Now, if you click it multiple times, it doesn't look like it's made new ones, but I promise you it has. They just populate right on top of each other. So I've got 3 rooms, I've got 3 doors. We gotta turn them. You click this little thing, pull it, and it turns it. Oh! But you have to be careful, it can be finicky sometimes. There we go. You click any of these other dots and it will change the proportions. You do need to be careful on what you click on. Now we've seen that little mishap. Let's not do it again, shall we? Rotate, click and drag, boom. And then, boom. All right, now this is the first floor. First floor's mansions usually not bedrooms, right? So I figure we've got this ballroom right here. We've already settled that. Let's go ahead and put a table in there. Let's see. What table do I want, though? I think... pool table. I don't want a pool table in the ballroom, I promise. But I do think it's really neat to have the option. Let's see here. Yeah, just a nice little long table shoved right there in the corner for parties and whatnot. Now from here, one of these rooms, probably the smaller one, will probably be a store room. So let's go with some barrels. Now these colored in ones are really neat. I'm not a huge fan of them when it comes to stocking rooms with stuff, especially since there's this neat little 3-barrel. Now it's awfully large, does take up the majority of what I want to be the storeroom, but I can shrink it down. 3 barrels, boom. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 barrels, boom. Then we'll go ahead and throw 3 more barrels shrunken in there as well. All right, and now we do some crates. Oh, didn't need to add the S apparently. And these crates, should my adventurers come in here, will probably just have some food in there. You can never go wrong with some spare food. Now, I think I'm actually going to swap out this door. Go ahead and delete that door. Come up here and type in door again. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a locked door there. That's what I'm going to do. Boom. Put that there. And the reason for that is this is going to be a small treasury. So if this will cooperate with me, there we go. Now we'll type in chests, and we've got a couple options for treasure chests. Oh. Now I'm going to go ahead and go with a couple of these. And put one right here and shrink it down. Put one right here and shrink it down. Not as much. And then this has this really cool thing. They've got gold piles. I'm going to go ahead. This is going to be a starting area, so I'm not going to put this giant gold pile here. But I am going to go ahead and put something moderately decently sized. I'm going to go with gold pile 3. And it does need to be enough to split among 4 or 5 people, so I'll put a couple of them in there. And just like that, we now have a nice little treasury where if they can manage to get through this lock, they can get some nice stuff. There's not going to be a whole lot in the ballroom. It's just a ballroom that's not in use. And there we have the first floor. But we're not done yet, right? It is a mansion. They're going to go inside, sure. But let's be real. Have you ever not wandered around the outside of a mansion? So we're going to come down here and we're going to grab the wall tool. Okay. Now, they're going to be a little bit of a front yard. So what I do when I'm making the walls for a garden or whatever is I find the door to the building, which is right here. And I just go straight out a little bit, however big I want that garden to be. And click. And straight out. We'll go right about there. And then we'll come back here. It's got to have a bit of a backyard too, right? And then come all the way over here again. And then one more time. And then we don't want to connect it. We want to make sure there's room. The gate's going to be a little bit bigger. There we go. And now we have a wall for the garden. And now we need a gate. We have right here. And this isn't big enough, so we're going to zoom in a little bit. Widen it across. And there we have our gate. Now we can go ahead and furnish the garden. There's some trees, which I'm going to be honest with you aren't like the best looking things here, but you take what you can get. And I think I'll take a couple of these big trees. Put one over here in the corner. One in this corner. One in this corner. And one in this corner. Alright. Now, this is something I've never searched before, so let's see if they've got flower beds. They do. Look at that. So, home clutter. Nice. I like that. Alright. Let's go with some flowers, right? Well, we're going to have to zoom in for this one, so let's move everything over here. Alright. Now zoom in. Click. If you come down here and click pan tool, it'll let you drag and move around, which is super neat. Then you have to remember to come back down here and click object tool if you want to go back to moving your objects. Let's just go ahead and make a little path to the gate. Now, you don't have to do this. I like to do it for my characters, for my players, but it's not necessary at all. And it is very time consuming, as you can see. And there we go. Now we have a path. I'm not going to fill all of this in with flowers. If they decide to walk around, I'll describe it as having more flowers and trees than what's here. But we've got the gist. We've got the basics. They know what they're getting themselves into. Okay? So this is going to be the first floor of a mansion. Now, if this was a higher level mansion, it'd have more rooms. It would have more in it. It would probably have some encounters as well. But because it's the first level, it's in the starting area, it doesn't need to be too much. You don't want to overwhelm your characters with an area that ultimately doesn't really need to even be searched. I'm going to send them here on a side quest. That's the only reason I'm making it. So there's no real need to make it super detailed or have a lot of stuff in it. Basic empty buildings are okay, or at the very least them looking empty on the map is okay, as long as you describe it as, you know, not being empty. This main room right here, when they walk in, they're going to see a luxurious satin rug that goes from the front door to the staircase and leads to each door. There's going to be paintings on the wall depicting all of the people that have lived there in the past, all the nobles and whatnot. There'll be like a paladin portrait probably on this wall or right in the middle of the stairwell that won this big war for the city that they're in. It's going to have a lot of stuff in it, but unfortunately a lot of stuff that I want to put in it aren't not in Dungeon Scrawl at the moment. Maybe in the future. And, you know, sometimes it's okay for your players to have to use their imagination. Now, from up here, we're going to come up here and we're going to click Add Map. And it's going to give us a blank canvas, so we'll need to go back to Layers. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's okay. You click this map up here, and it takes you right back here, so we've got what we need. Come back over here. We'll come back to this. Remember rectangle tool. Now, you have to remember, that first floor was 22 by 11, not counting the side rooms. So we're going to do 2211. All right, 2211. Okay. Now, we have to make sure we're accounting for the stairwell before we start doing anything with this second floor. So, this has this little D there, stairwell down. We'll click on that. A little bit off center. Boom, right there. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to go over here to layers, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click this layer right here. I'll click this, and I'm going to make this nice big balcony. We got this nice balcony right here. And then now we need some rooms. These are going to be bedrooms. That's not going to work. So you're going to have to come back here to the wall tool. Boom. Boom. Room. You know, we can just go ahead and do this. Room. And then right there we have 5 rooms and a balcony. A little alcove right here for bobs and ends and whatnot. We're going to come back over here. These are going to be bedrooms. Every bedroom needs a bed. Now, bed 3 is the most luxurious bed. It's the biggest bed. It's going to go in the biggest room. It'll go right here. And then the other 4 rooms, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll go there. That'll go there. That'll go there. And this last one will go right here in the corner. Now, when they walk into these rooms, obviously every room's going to have a window. There are windows, I believe, in Dungeon Scrawl. Let's see if I can remember how to spell. There are windows. I'm not a huge fan of these windows. I'm not going to put them in. However, we do need doors. So, any old door will do. I need 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, just gotta be careful. Which I am not being careful right now. Alright. Control Z this. Get it under control. There we go. Put this one right here. Okay. Let's turn these now while we can. And hope I don't mess things up. Alright, we'll zoom out a little bit. That will go there. Alright. And now, I don't think dresser... there it is. I was going to say, I don't think dresser is an option in here. I am wrong. Perfect. I thought I was going to have to go with cabinets. I don't want a big dresser like that. Boom. You have to be very careful. Far more careful than I'm being. Otherwise, you're going to have this massive piece of furniture that does not need to be that massive. All right. Now, I want a table and a couple chairs for this balcony. So, let's go with... not Taz. I'm going to fat finger it all day. That's what I'm going to do. Alright. Tables. Any old table will do, but let's go ahead and go with a table that has chairs added already, right? So we'll go with this one. I want it to be a little bit bigger. There we go. Put that right there. And let's go ahead and, for good measure, have a couple of chairs, right? One, two, three. Just overlooking the garden. Because this is the front, which means this balcony is right over that front door. It's looking over the garden out here and past the garden and everything. And I think that gives it a nice touch. Now from here, if this was a higher level area, I'd have some chests in here. I'd have some encounters in here. What I am going to do is I am going to go ahead and put an encounter in this master bedroom. So from there, I'm not entirely sure what to search for this. So I'm just going to scroll down for it and show you guys what I do for encounters. You see these numbers? Well, yeah, I could have just searched number. I put numbers everywhere for where there is an encounter, where there could be an encounter. There could be an encounter right here in the master bedroom. Could be. Not for sure. Could be. And then, you know what? There's a haughty little person in this room as well. They could piss them off and get into an encounter there as well. And now we have two possible encounters in this entire mansion. And that's the second floor. There will be some stuff in these dressers for them. I haven't fully decided what yet. There will probably be like a little lockbox under this bed should they barge in here and win this encounter. But this is it. This is the second floor. It's not too terribly detailed. As we get further into the campaign, I'll show you guys how to make more detailed maps with more items and everything. But this is the gist of it. We got the first floor and the garden, and then we've got the second floor with the balcony and the beds and whatnot. And that will honestly do it for this early into the campaign. This is more than good enough. Once again, this isn't just an empty area. In fact, let's go ahead and do one more thing. We will add a cabinet to this little alcove right there, which it's way too big for that alcove. So let's shrink it a little bit. Make it, there we go. And it fits within the confines of the wall. There will be another beautiful silken mat here. One leading into each bedroom. When they go into the bedrooms, there will be this nice, beautiful drawn curtain in front of the windows. In fact, let's move these beds over a little bit. This one can actually stay in the corner. There'll be windows here, there'll be a big window here, and a big window probably over the dresser or next to the dresser by the door with these nice, beautiful drapes that, knowing my players, they'll probably steal them, but that's neither here nor there. This balcony, I'll describe it with some beautiful marbled railings. This table won't look so blasé when I describe it. Same with these chairs, they won't actually be made out of wood, which is what it looks like they're made out of here. It's okay to use your skills as a DM to describe things when you've got just a basic map like this. Don't be afraid to test yourself when it comes to being descriptive. Let your players do some work with their imagination. Be sure to exercise their imagination by being descriptive and letting them picture what you're trying to describe. Like, these beds look cheap. This is a mansion. If you live in a mansion, you're not going to have a cheap bed. So I'm not going to describe it like the way it's pictured there. It's just a placeholder, obviously. So it's okay for it to not be super detailed on the map as long as you're descriptive and detailed when telling them about it. So there's our map. I'm super excited for my session tomorrow, and I hope you guys are excited to see parts of it. That'll be it for today.